everyone, my name is Holly Jo Flora, and today's video is all about self-publishing a book. I have written down tons of information to share with you, but before we get into that, I have three things that I want quickly to tell you about. The first one is, yesterday I sent out my very first newsletter, and I had the best time putting that newsletter together. If you'd like to sign up to be on my mailing list, go to my website. I have a link down in the description below. And on the home page of my website, scroll to the bottom and you'll see a place where you can enter your email and sign up for my mailing list. And you'll receive my newsletter on the first of each month. The second thing I want to tell you about is yesterday I posted on my blog an excerpt from my book. This is my book, Same God Knew You. And I took the devotion, Welcome to France, and I posted that on my blog, which is also on my website. So you'll go onto that home screen, and it's just above where you would sign up for the mailing list. You can click on the my new news, and you'll see it there, Welcome to France. So if you'd like to read that, please visit my website. Third thing I want to tell you about is next week's video. Next week's video is a video that honestly I never ever thought that I would make, but I'm so excited about it and I think it's going to be a ton of fun. So please subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss my weekly videos. But let's jump in now to what this video is about, and that is self-publishing a book. Now, like I mentioned at the beginning, I've written down a lot. Please don't get overwhelmed. None of this has to be done in one day. It shouldn't be done in one day. It's kind of like that saying, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So with all the information I'm giving you, just eat it one bite at a time. And don't feel this first time watching the video that you need to take tons of notes. I mean, you're welcome to, but I recommend just sitting, listening, taking it all in, because everything I mention, I'll put a link to down below in the description. So you can check there, you don't have to write down names, they'll all be there. And I also want to tell you about two ladies who helped me a ton with self-publishing my book. And they both have YouTube channels, and their links will be down in the description as well. But Bethany Atazada and Mandy Lynn. These two ladies, what a blessing they were to me, because when you're trying something that you've never done before, I'd never self-published a book, I'd never written a book. So this was my first time with all of this, and it can be very overwhelming. And it was so comforting to watch these two ladies, and they kind of hold your hand while you're doing everything. For Bethany and for Mandy, they have it set up to where you can see their computer screen while they're ordering their books, while they're designing things. And so when you log into a different company or to enter all of your information for your book, you can look that up on their YouTube channel and watch them place an order for their book and know what did they click, what did they select. So check out both of those ladies' videos. They will help you tremendously. Now let's talk about ISBNs. So what is an ISBN? This is the identification number for your book. Now, when I first wrote Same God Knew You, I thought I only need to buy one ISBN because it's only one story. But that's not true. What I learned is that you need a different ISBN for every format of your book. So I knew when I wanted to publish my book, I wanted it in a hardcover, which that's what this is. I wanted it as a paperback, and I also wanted it available as an ebook. So my one story, I had to purchase 3 different ISBNs. Now, if you live in the United States, you're going to purchase your ISBNs through Bowker. And again, I'll have this down below in the description, but the website for Bowker is myidentifiers.com. And when you go to the website, you have different options. I don't think you're probably going to select the buy ISBNs in bulk, because that's for thousands of ISBNs. I don't think you'll need that many numbers unless you have like a publishing company or something like that. But if you select buy ISBNs, you have 3 options. You can buy 1 ISBN, you can buy 10 ISBNs, or you can buy 100 ISBNs. I needed 3. So you may think, well, she did the one ISBN 3 times. No, I bought 10 ISBNs, and I know at this point it was like, well, that's 7 too many. Why did you purchase those? The reason is you can buy one ISBN for $125. You can buy 10 ISBNs for $295. So if you're going to need more than 2 ISBNs, go ahead and purchase the 10 because it actually will save you money. And I want to continue writing, so hopefully I'll be able to use those other 7 numbers that I purchased. You do not have to purchase your ISBNs though. And I had to think a while about this on what did I want to choose. And I decided for me, I wanted to purchase my own numbers from Bowker. But depending on the company that you are using or the companies that you choose to use, and I'll describe these companies more in just a little bit, but you can select through KDP, through Ingram Spark, that you would like for them to supply you with a free ISBN. So they'll give you a free number to identify your book. There's a couple of things about that though. If you are going to publish through multiple companies like I did, you're going to have multiple ISBNs for the same format of your book, because the ISBN that KDP gives you for free, you can't use that same ISBN number for Ingram Spark. The number that you get from KDP only can be used at KDP, and the number that you would get for free from Ingram Spark, it can only be used at Ingram Spark. So what that means is you would have, if you were doing just a paperback, you would have a paperback with an identification number through KDP, but you'd also have another paperback with a different ISBN through Ingram Spark. They're the same format, it's the same book, but you'd have it listed twice. And that may not matter to you, but for me, what I liked is that when I purchased my own ISBN, I entered my number for my paperback on KDP, I entered it on Ingram Spark, and they link up. So on the Bowker website, you assign each of your ISBNs to the certain format of book. And once you do that and you enter it into these websites, it just links them all together so that it tracks all of it in one number, if that makes sense. So I liked that. Another thing is, you may never be interested in owning or creating like an LLC or your own publishing house. At this point, I haven't, because I didn't know how this first book would do, and I still haven't decided if I want to make a publishing house and list that as my publisher, because for me, since I own my ISBN numbers myself, it lists Holly Jo Flora as the publisher of this book. If you choose a free ISBN from the company, it will list that company as your publisher. That may not matter at all to you, and that's fine, but for me, I wanted to have the flexibility that if in the future I decided to make my own publishing house name and have my own company, I would like to go back to these first books that I put out, and instead of it just saying published by Holly Jo Flora, whatever I choose for my publishing company's name, I could change it. Even years from now, I could change it so that the new copies of the book would then say my publishing house name. If you have a free ISBN, you can't go back and change the publisher's name. So that's just something to keep in mind if that matters to you. Next, let's talk about the companies I used when self-publishing. And the first company I want to talk about is Draft2Digital. Draft2Digital is where I went to do all of my ebooks. And Draft2Digital, I have nothing but positive things to say about them. Their website is so user-friendly. Their customer service is great. I did have a couple of hiccups with how my ebook was formatted. One of them was I messed up, but the other one was Draft2Digital had a little hiccup. And I believe they have a phone number that you can call and talk to someone, but I never used the phone number. I just sent them an email to their customer service, and they got back to me so quickly. They fixed my problem or told me exactly what I needed to do to fix the issue. So they were extremely great to work with. Draft2Digital is completely free. You don't have to pay a thing to publish your ebook through them. And I believe they also have started publishing print books, paperbacks, hardcovers. I didn't use them for that, but if you're interested in using Draft2Digital for your print books, I'm sure they have more information and videos on their website, so check that out. But for your ebook, you don't pay anything. They keep a small percentage of, if someone purchases the ebook through them or through where they supplied the ebook, they'll keep just a small amount of money and then you'll get the rest. And the big thing for Draft2Digital is that they are a wide distributor. So what that means is when they make your ebook, they're not going to send it just to one website. They're not going to send it just to Barnes & Noble. They're going to send your ebook, if you'd like, to lots of different websites, vendors. So you'll have your ebook, hopefully, where any person would go to purchase an ebook. On the last screen of Draft2Digital, when you publish your ebook, you can select what places you want it to send to. You know, do you want it to send to Barnes & Noble, Amazon, Walmart, all these different places. I selected for them to send it everywhere except for one place, and that was Amazon or KDP. And the reason I did not want Draft2Digital to send my ebook to KDP, which would make it available as a Kindle, I did not want them to send it there because I knew I was going to publish my book through KDP, the paperback, the hardcover, and also the Kindle. And I decided that instead of having to check Draft2Digital's report, weekly or whenever you check your sales report, to check on what the Kindle sales were and stuff like that, I wanted to just be able to check everything that had to do with Amazon on one site, and I wanted to do that through my KDP profile. So I didn't select Amazon for Draft2Digital to send my ebook to, but I selected everywhere else. And another wonderful thing about Draft2Digital is that you can download a PDF or an EPUB file of your formatted ebook for free from Draft2Digital. And that's what I did for my Kindle. So I had already formatted my ebook on Draft2Digital, and before I submitted it for them to publish, on one of the screens, if you look down in the bottom right corner, you can download your file as a PDF, as an EPUB. The EPUB file is what you're going to need if you want to do like me and upload the file to KDP. We've been talking lots now about KDP, and you may be thinking, what is KDP? KDP is Kindle Direct Publishing. This is owned by Amazon. So KDP is not a wide distributor. When you publish through KDP, you are only publishing to Amazon, but Amazon is huge, so it's a very smart place to publish your book. So I made an account with KDP, and like I said, I uploaded the EPUB file that I got from Draft2Digital for that to be my Kindle, the ebook, through KDP. And then I uploaded my files for a hardcover and my files for a paperback onto KDP. When you upload your files on KDP, you need your book cover as a PDF file, you need your interior as a PDF file, and I know I'm jumping back, but I just realized I didn't tell you what you would need for Draft2Digital. Draft2Digital, you can use your Word document if you want to, and that's what I did, to upload the interior file. But for your book cover file, you only need the front cover as a JPEG for Draft2Digital. So front cover as a JPEG for Draft2Digital, and the interior file can be a Word document. But for KDP, you need your cover, and you're going to need your cover as the full cover wrap, meaning the front cover, the spine, and the back cover. You'll upload that as a PDF file onto KDP, and your interior file, this is also going to need to be a PDF file for KDP. KDP is also completely free to use. You don't have to pay anything to publish your hardcover, paperback, Kindle. It's free. And again, they'll just keep a percentage of what you would make when someone purchases your book. So for your royalties through KDP, your royalties are much higher on KDP as of now than they are on the other companies that I used and also investigated, researched about. So the royalties right now, I know they're about to change, but right now they're pretty good. KDP is extremely easy to use, just like Draft to Digital, very user-friendly, customer service is great. For KDP, anytime I had questions or I had problems, I would select the chat now and have somebody right there, right then, that I could ask, hey, what does this mean? Or what's the problem? What am I doing wrong? And they were always so helpful. I also used their email a couple of times, and the reason for that is on KDP, you have selections that you can make on what category you would like for your book to be listed in. And they give you, I can't remember now how many, it's maybe 2 or 3 that you can list your book kind of on the online bookshelf. So if somebody's looking, like for me, I chose devotions, women's interest, things like that. You can only, when you're uploading your book, select just a couple. But I found out from Bethany Atazada that you can email KDP once your book is published, and I believe it was 8. I could pick 8 categories total and send an email and say, would you please put my book on each of these shelves on the internet through Amazon? And they were so helpful. First I sent them what I would like to do to add it to, I'd already done 2 and I wanted them to add it to 6 more, and they sent me back what information they would need. Even though I used my ISBNs that I purchased through Bowker, KDP also assigns you an ASIN. This is an identification number. It's not your ISBN, but it's your identification number just through KDP or Amazon. So when you email them, they don't ask for your ISBN to identify what book you're talking about. They will ask you for your ASIN. I know that's a lot of numbers, but it's very easy just to copy and paste these numbers because it's listed on your profile on KDP. When you go into your bookshelf through the company, it's right there. It just says ASIN and has the number. So keep that in mind when you're communicating with KDP's customer service, which number you're going to have to send them. It's not the ISBN, it's the ASIN. KDP, and I mentioned this a little bit ago about the royalties, but they are great because, well, for lots of reasons, but their author copies don't cost you as much as the other companies do. So this right here is an author copy. It's the exact same copy that customers are going to purchase through Amazon, but you can purchase, since you're the author, I think it's like up to 500 at a time, author copies. So for instance, I sell books also through my website. So if you are interested in my book, visit my website. You can purchase the paperback and the hardcover there, and if you do, I throw in a free bookmark. But those are author copies that I'm selling on my website. So as an author, I actually make more selling the books through my website than I make when I sell them through Amazon, because they're charging me basically only the printing cost for the author copy, and they send it to me. You have to pay the shipping, but it's not very much. But when a person purchases my book through Amazon, KDP is charging the printing cost, but they're also charging me for them selling my book. So they keep more. So if you're the author, you want to buy a bunch of author copies if you can afford that and sell them yourself, because you will make more money. The next part that I'm going to share about KDP may not make a lot of sense right when I say it, but as I explain the next company, you'll understand what I mean. Make all of your mistakes on KDP. Like I said, KDP is free and very easy to use, has great customer service. So I say it's free, but the only thing that you would have to pay, or you don't have to pay it, but I think I would recommend that you do, is ordering a proof copy. So this is my proof copy of my hardcover, has the KDP band around it. But before you actually publish for your book, I recommend purchasing a proof copy, because you need to in person look and see, does the cover sit like I thought it would? Because when you look on the computer screen and it's not wrapped around a book, even though you can get a template from KDP to design your book cover, You need to see it in person. And also the interior. Is the font the right size? Do I like the spacing? You want to check everything. So that's the only expense that you probably really need to spend when publishing your book. But KDP, like I said, very easy. The next company that I chose, Ingram Spark, they are not very easy. Now, I say that I didn't have any problems with Ingram Spark because I had watched the videos by Bethany Atazada and Mandy Lynn and had heard their horror stories of different things and issues that they experienced with Ingram Spark. So you may think, well, why did you use Ingram Spark if they're difficult? Ingram Spark is a wide distributor. Just like Drafted Digital is a wide distributor for my ebook, Ingram Spark is a wide distributor for print books. So for my paperbacks, for my hardcovers, through Ingram Spark, I can have those available at Barnes & Noble, Walmart. They send the books to lots of places. So I wanted to have that wide distribution, and I chose to go with Ingram Spark. So let's talk about what makes Ingram Spark not as easy as KDP. The first thing is their website. It is not as user-friendly. It's more difficult to understand what they're asking you or what you're supposed to select. But again, the videos from those two ladies helped me so much because I would watch them publish their book on Ingram Spark and kind of follow, okay, what did they click? Okay, I'll click that. And it was so helpful. Again, it's like they're holding your hand as you're trying something new. The next thing is they do not have great customer service. There's no phone number that you can call. There's no live chat. You can email the customer service. They will get back to you, from what I hear, in a very long time. And they may answer your question and they may not. And a lot of times they send you it's not personalized. It's almost like they didn't even read through the problem you were having. They just saw what the subject was and they send you a pre-made write-up that hopefully is going to solve your problem or answer your question. I didn't have any issues, thank God, through Ingram Spark, so I didn't have to use their customer service. But keep that in mind, if you do run into trouble, Ingram Spark, from what I hear, is not very easy to work with. What I did experience, though, is that they are extremely slow. They're so slow. And you may think, well, it could be that KDP spoiled us, because first I published through KDP, and they are so fast getting back with you. Even when you submit things, it says this will take, up to 72 hours. Majority of the time it took less than 24. They're just very quick. But then you go to Ingram Spark and it takes days for them to okay a file, for them to send you anything. When you order a copy, it takes forever for it to come. They're just a lot slower. So keep that in mind, that if you're using Ingram Spark and KDP, it's not going to be the same amount of time to get things approved or get things back from them. Also at Ingram Spark, they're everything. Your author copies, the proof copies, everything costs more. Now, the good thing about Ingram Spark, there are a couple good things, is that when you order a proof copy from Ingram Spark, it does not have the band around it. So when you order your proof copy from them, it's going to look like what you could sell if everything is correct. So that's great for promotional pictures, because if you're publishing your book, you'd love to have photos of your book that you can put online and, my book is for sale, here's the photo. You can't do it so easily with this because of this band. You could, for the interior, you could take pictures of it because it'll look the same as the copies that people are going to purchase, but this does not look the same. But at Ingram Spark, your proof copy looks just like the real copies. So if you hit the nail on the head right when you submitted it, you can use those for your promo pictures. And so that is a good thing about Ingram Spark. Also, Ingram Spark keeps more royalties. So when people purchase the books through them, and it's not through them, through the places that they supplied your book through, like Barnes & Noble. So if someone purchases the book through Barnes & Noble, you don't make as much money. With KDP, they're the middle person between you and the customer, the reader, purchasing your book. So they do need to make some money. They're in between making that transaction happen. Ingram Spark, you've actually got two people in the middle now. So let's say, like I mentioned, Barnes & Noble. So if someone purchases the book through Barnes & Noble is going to keep a little bit of the money, but also Ingram Spark is the one that sent it to Barnes & Noble. They're going to keep a little bit of the money. So you still make, the royalty that you can select how much you want to sell your book at KDP, at Ingram Spark, and you can decide, for a certain amount of royalties back, I'm going to have to price my book as X amount through Ingram Spark. So that's just something to keep in mind. That's why I say make all your mistakes on KDP, because to order the proof copies, it costs less at KDP. So if you make a mistake and you fix it and you want to order another proof copy to see, did I fix it correctly? Is it good? You don't pay as much doing it at KDP as you will through Ingram Spark, and you don't have to wait as long. So you can, fix the file. They'll send it back to you much quicker than you fix it, you send it to Ingram Spark, and you have to wait a while before you know, did I fix it correctly? I haven't seen anything yet because it's taken a while to come. So make your mistakes on KDP. Once you get your files as perfected as you can, use those files, send them over to Ingram Spark. Now, Ingram Spark used to charge to publish books. They're the only company that does this. Drafted Digital, KDP, you can publish for free, completely free, but you could not at Ingram Spark for the longest time. You had to pay a fee to upload your cover file, you had to pay a fee to upload your interior file, and having said that, they're just like KDP, that they need a PDF of the cover file and a PDF of the interior file for your book. So just wanted to mention that. But you used to have to pay every time you uploaded a file. But then it gets worse, because usually, again, this is why you needed to perfect things at KDP, not Ingram Spark, but it used to be is you would upload those files, get your proof copy, and say, I left out a period in one place, I left out a comma, this word's misspelled, how did I miss that? And to make one tiny change, or, this is too high on the cover, I need to lower it a little bit, you would have to pay again to upload the fixed file. So you could spend a lot more money. You would spend a lot more money at Ingram Spark than you did at the other companies. Now, effective May 1st, so this has only been last month since recording this video, they have changed things. Thank God. So now you have 60 days. But again, that's a reason that you need to perfect your files on KDP. You have 60 days from the moment that you upload either your cover file or your interior file. That's where the time starts. That's day one. You have 60 days to perfect it. So for Ingram Spark, I did need to change a couple of things that I thought I had correct at KDP, because I'd heard from Bethany and from Mandy, perfect your files through KDP. I thought I had. But then I got my proof back from Ingram Spark and I found something and I thought, oh no! But thank God it was within those 60 days, so I didn't have to pay anything to fix my file and re-upload it. So that's a good thing. So now you have 60 days to print your book, publish your book for free. If you have to go back and change anything, you're going to have to pay. There's one more company that I'll just mention, but I don't have anything really to share other than just mentioning their name because I didn't use them. Barnes & Noble has their own publishing company called Barnes & Noble Press. And I have heard of some authors using that, but I didn't use that company because they're kind of like KDP. KDP only publishes to Amazon. Barnes & Noble Press only publishes to Barnes & Noble. I think that if you were only interested in putting it in Amazon and maybe just Barnes & Noble, use Barnes & Noble Press because it's cutting out Ingram Spark so that you would make a little bit more on your books. But from what I've heard, the royalties between KDP and Barnes & Noble Press keeps more. So it's not going to be as high as KDP as of now. But I knew that I was going to send for, I think, what is Barnes & Noble? Are they Nook? I think that's right. I knew I was going to send my ebook file to Barnes & Noble through Drafted Digital. And I knew I was going to select them as one of the many companies for Ingram Spark to send my book to. So my paperback and my hardcover are available at Barnes & Noble. through Ingram Spark. So I didn't want to add on another company that I would have to check my reports and enter all my information for them to pay me my royalties, when I could just use those other two. Because most of my book sales so far have been through KDP, which is Amazon, and through my website. I have sold a couple through Barnes & Noble. I don't believe I've sold any through Walmart yet. And I've sold a lot of the ebooks are through Draft to Digital. So for me, KDP, Draft to Digital, Ingram Spark, it met my need of where I wanted to publish my book at wide and lots of different places. But for you, if you are interested in Barnes & Noble Press, look online. I'm sure that there's lots of videos, lots of information on their website to help you with that. On last week's video, I talked more about cover design, how I decided what I wanted to put on my book cover, and I've mentioned in this video the different types of files you'll need for your book cover. So I don't really have much more to say about that. If you missed last week's video, you may want to go back and watch that on how I chose what to put on my cover and just gave some tips for making your decision on your cover design. Let's talk about formatting your book. So the interior of my book, I formatted myself, because I watched lots of videos, I read a lot, did a lot of research, and I thought, I think I can do that. So I saved money by not hiring someone to format my interior. I formatted it myself. I didn't think it was too overwhelming, so you definitely can do that. If I can do it, then anybody can do it. But if you don't have the time or you're not interested in formatting your interior, there are a lot of people online. You just need to look up, formatting the interior of your book, and you can hire someone. Just like cover design, you can hire someone to format your book. Also, in last week's video, I talked about hiring an editor, and I gave some information about that. So I won't dive into that on this video, but again, if you missed it, go back to last week's video on tips, I think it was tips and resources to publishing a book. It's on that video. Well, that's all that I have for today's video on self-publishing. I could share some more on the expenses of self-publishing. I know I said over and over that you can publish your book completely for free on this company's site, and it's true. Other than those proof copies, you don't have to pay anything, and you don't have to buy a proof copy if you don't want to do that. You can publish a book completely for free. But there are some things that I felt were a good investment, that I felt that the ROI, my return on investment, it was worth it. And if you're interested in me sharing, the expenses, what I paid to self-publish, I don't mind sharing that with you at all. If you're interested in did I make the money back yet, or how long did that take, just ask. I don't mind at all. So leave a comment below if you're interested in a video on the expenses of self-publishing. And if this video was helpful, please give it a like, and please come back for next week. Subscribe to my channel, because next week's video is going to be very different for me, but also a lot of fun. So I look forward to talking to you then.